Hello and welcome everyone to AARP Wyoming's Video Voter Guide Series for 2024. I'm Tom Laycock with AARP Wyoming, and today we're joined by Mike Selmer, who's running for the Wyoming Legislature in Senate District 10, which is located in Albany County. AARP has a proud 40-year history of nonpartisan voter engagement, does not endorse or oppose candidates, nor does AARP make contributions to political campaigns or candidates at any level. Instead, we ask questions so our AARP Wyoming members understand where the candidates sit on important issues and can make their own decisions on Election Day. Today, we'll ask Mr. Selmer 3 questions, allowing for a 1-minute and 30-second response to each. Then we'll give him 2 minutes to make his pitch to the voters of Senate District 10. So, Mr. Selmer, our first question is this. Over the last 2 years, the Wyoming Legislature has made providing property tax relief for citizens a priority. In your view, what's the most effective way to provide relief while balancing revenue needs for our schools, counties, and other entities that rely on property tax to maintain sustainable funding?
Well, there's no doubt that property taxes are the #1 concern I've found as I've been talking to my future constituents. Many are worried that services they depend on will be eliminated if dramatic cuts are passed. There is no doubt that our communities will suffer if property taxes are sliced across the board. Schools, fire and police protection, roads, and many other elements that make for a strong community depend on those taxes. But on the other hand, others are worried about being able to stay in their homes, the ones they've owned for decades. Targeted relief has to happen, and fast. As your state senator, I will work hard to find a solution, and I have ideas on some possibilities. During the last session of the legislature, almost $1 billion was added to reserve accounts, the rainy day fund. I've got some news for the legislature. For many seniors around the state, it is raining cats and dogs. 5 or 10% of that money should have been used to establish a fund from which people overburdened by rapidly rising property taxes could find relief. The relief should certainly be targeted to folks who really need it, and the mechanisms by which this fund would be administered would need to be determined. But this could work, and without harming our communities. I'm willing to work with other legislatures on this and other ideas that can solve this serious problem. Let's get to work and get it done.
Our second question for today. Wyoming's population of those aged 60 and over grew by 47% from 2010 to 2020, while the state's entire population grew just 2%. We know 64% of all nursing home beds in Wyoming are paid for right now by the state Medicaid program. What do you see as the greatest barrier to helping our older adults age in their homes and communities, and what solutions might you provide?
Well, first off, Wyoming's aging population is not a burden to our communities, but an important resource. Our older folks are a fountain of wisdom and knowledge. They contribute many thousands of volunteer hours helping in our schools and hospitals and in a wide variety of nonprofit organizations that make for a stronger community. Seniors make our communities stronger. It is important for our state and every community to recognize their value and support them as they age. We can do this by making our zoning and permitting friendly to multi-generational homes. I designed and built the home my wife and I live in now with our daughter and her family. We have an in-law apartment that allows for our privacy while we still get to enjoy being a part of our grandchildren's lives. But it was a challenge getting a design approved that allowed for this in a single-family zoning area. So that's one thing that could be fixed. Providing tax incentives that would encourage the types of housing that enables seniors to live independently and economically is also important. And we need to find a way to make sure that nursing homes are safe and affordable for seniors who don't have other options. I plan on working hard for our seniors and this issue, and am open to all sorts of ideas.
Well, thank you. Our third and final question for today. Emergency medical services are not considered an essential service in Wyoming, and in some areas, ambulance services do not have a sustainable funding source. Over the last 10 years, Wyoming has seen 16 EMS providers in the state fold or consolidate with another service. What solution would you offer for ensuring access to ambulance services?
Well, to start with, we certainly should consider emergency medical services an essential service. I don't know why they're not. They are critical to the health and safety of our seniors, no matter their income level. So how can they not be considered essential? One of the reasons we see EMS services folding is because most corporations are concerned mainly with making a profit, and most of Wyoming is not a profitable market for this type of service. We need to find a way for EMS services to be integrated into our existing fire protection infrastructure. This seems to me to be an efficient and potentially economical solution. Of course, this would need to be studied, and other ways of addressing this problem should be considered. I look forward to working with my colleagues in the legislature to find a solution. The remote areas of Wyoming make it really difficult to provide adequate emergency services and just health services overall. I have many ideas on ways we can address this problem.
Well, Mr. Selmer, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you joining us today. You've answered our questions. Now let's give you 2 minutes to tell the voters of Senate District 10 why you believe you're the man for the job.
Well, my working life was as a small businessman in blue collar fields. All my life I've worked with my hands, and I've worked with a wide variety of other people to complete complex projects. I was a master electrician and participated in projects, $1 million or more. And I think it's a attribute, a skill set that would be valuable in the legislature. Being able to work with a wide variety of people to accomplish things, good things for the people of Wyoming. Excuse me. The legislature has a lot of lawyers, a lot of ranchers, and this isn't a bad thing. They need their representation, but there aren't very many blue collar workers in the legislature. And I think the broader a view a legislature has, the more opinions and the more life experiences of the people that are in the legislature, the better bills come out of it. There's been too many ideologically driven hot button issues come out of the legislature the last few sessions, and that needs to change. We need to be working to pass bills that benefit the people in Wyoming. And when I'm elected, I plan on being that type of legislator. And yeah, I guess that kind of sums it up. I have been knocking doors, finding a very receptive audience. I know my opponent is going to be able to spend a lot of money, and I won't. But by connecting with the voters one-on-one, I hope to be serving in the legislature come January. Thank you so much. My website is mikeselmer.com. You can find a host of information about me, about my position on issues, and about my life. I think my life story is unique, and I look forward to you looking at it. And my phone number is 307-703-0024. I plan on being the type of legislator that is accessible all the time. If you have a question about my positions, you can call me and ask.
Well, thank you, Mike. We appreciate your time today, and want to thank our viewers for joining us in this video voter guide as well. We encourage you to keep checking Cowboy State Daily and AARP Wyoming's Facebook page for more voter guides in the days to come.